Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We are in Bible study yet again, video 4 for today. We are in the book of 3rd John. We're going to go through this entire letter. It's 1 through 14, because that's all there is 14 verses. That's why we're going to go through the whole thing. This is not an epistle or a pastoral letter. This is a personal letter. This is a personal letter to someone named Gaius, which I've heard some people call it Gaius. No, I'm very Celtic. That is Gaius. Because that's just how that is pronounced. Now, we are going to get some tea. So in this culture, there is a history of hospitality. And like I said, the Bible isn't written until like the 400s. So the history of how the teaching is going is pastoral letters, people writing out their accounts, like we said in the beginning of Luke. And then, in addition, it is traveling teachers. And the culture of hospitality is expected. There's a reason for that. It comes from the Old Testament. Because back in the Old Testament, there were just roving bands of murdering rapists in every town. And if you were new, and the people who were in charge of those things found out that you were new, they were going to come to the house that you were, and they were going to bang down the door until the people who lived in that town threw you to the wolves so you could be raped potentially to death or murdered. Just flat out without the rape to begin with. Because people were in that state of disgustingness. So well before nightfall, if you arrived in a town, you needed to secure your lodgings and make sure you were inside so nothing happened to you. And that's why they had that. No, if you can keep them safe, take them into your home to keep them safe. Do not leave them to what is out there if you want to say that you're a follower of God. Because you're supposed to care about the experience other people are having around you. It's part of the test of this life. How we treat other people. So, in this, though, we get some tea because John the Evangelist, so yes, John, an apostle, there is a church that is supposed to be under his command. He's got to think of him as he's like a cardinal, right? And he's got a bunch of different churches that are under him, or a bishop. But this is if we're assuming that Peter is the first pope. So I just have a hard time imagining that if Peter is the first pope, the other apostles are cardinals. They are not just bishops. The disciples they've recruited are bishops. And then there are parish priests. If you're looking at this in the hierarchy of something we can understand, right? Because that is the tradition of what we understand. So, there is a church that John would have been under John's, I don't know if tutelage is how I would like to word that. I was going to say control, but I don't really like that. Control. You can't really control what other grown people do. Unless you're going to have some extreme abusive control situation going on, or you're going to play some narcissistic. You can't do that and say you're from God and in love, from the energy of love. Not like necessarily in love with that person, but in the energy of love. The ultimate love, the God love, and then try to micromanage and control. You can discuss and reason and forgive, but you can't control. God gives us free will, and he doesn't try to take it from us, so no living person is supposed to try to take it from another. Guide. Yes. Guide. Because that's the appropriate way of doing it. Okay, so here we have got a church that was under John's control, and he no longer is. He no longer cares what John has to say about a topic. He's not taking letters from him, and this is actually a personal letter from John to another person, Gaius, who has a church in that same general area that he sort of appreciates. The fact that he's not acting like that guy over there. He got good reportings back about Gaius, and he wants to thank him, so he wrote him a letter. 3 John, verse 1. The elder. To my dear friend Gaius, whom I love in truth. Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. It gave me great joy to have some brothers come and tell me about your faithfulness to the truth and how you continue to walk in the truth. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. It's beautiful. Dear friends, you are faithful in what you are doing for the brothers, even though they are strangers to you, showing them hospitality. They have told the church about your love. You do well to send them on their way in a manner worthy of God. Provide for their needs. It is for the sake of the name that they went out, receiving no help from the pagans. That would be the tradition. Go out, take nothing with you, not even a spare pair of sandals, none. Provide for your needs by working along the way and the hospitality of others. Because hospitality is how we're going to tell good people from raggedy-souled people. Okay? We ought, therefore, to show hospitality to such men so that we may work together for the truth. I wrote to the church, but Diotrephes, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Diotrephes, who loves to be first, so he likes to be important, will have nothing to do with us. So if I come, I will call attention to what he is doing, gossiping maliciously about us. Not satisfied with that, he refuses to welcome the brothers. So he also stops those who want to do so and puts them out of the church. So if you argue with him about entertaining any other ministers to come in, he will throw you right out. It's him and nothing else, and he is not going to entertain any of that nonsense coming from anywhere else. He doesn't recognize their authority. He has decided he knows how this is to be taught, and that's it. And I will tell you, that stiff-necked thing is not something that God generally likes. Dear friends, do not imitate what is evil, but what is good. Anyone who does what is good is from God. Anyone who does what is evil has not seen God. So you can't be like, I'm with God and then I want to go do these terrible things to other people. No. If you want to do those terrible things to other people, you are not with God at all. You can't be with God sometimes. You are with God in every choice that you make to not hurt others. Demetrius is well spoken of everyone, but even the truth itself. Anyone who believes what is evil has not seen God. Demetrius is well spoken of, but everyone, and even by the truth itself. Okay, so he really likes somebody named Demetrius across the board. Everybody likes him. We also speak well of him, and you know that our testimony is true. I don't know. I have much to write you, but I do not want to do so with pen and ink. So he's addressing something about, maybe it was a letter that came into him, like, what do you think of Demetrius? Is he okay? He's vouching for Demetrius, whoever Demetrius is. I hope to see you soon, and we will talk face to face. Peace to you. The friends here send their greetings. Greet the friends there by name. So, that's the entirety of the letter. Apparently, this nonsense, this ego, I mean, Satan got in early, is what it means. This person was sure, Diotrephes was sure that he knew how, everything was to be worshipped. And I don't know what parts, we don't know what parts because they didn't say, that he disagrees with, but he wanted no traveling ministers. Now, mind you, the traveling ministers, there were good ones going through, which if there was, a letter beforehand, because they had a pattern. They would send a letter beforehand, and they would send somebody that those people already know, somebody who was introduced to them when that apostle was there, so that they know this is a person that is associated with the apostles. That's how they've been doing it. Because in this early inn, it is who you know, literally, because the apostles knew Jesus, right? So they would do it in this pattern. This guy, and now they would, some other people who weren't apostles, claiming to be apostles, claiming to know the apostles, claiming to have teachings, would go out to these teachings, Satan's handmaidens, and create all kinds of doubt in different ways. And that's mostly what we see they're addressing in these letters. So this other guy has just decided the answer to this is to entertain absolutely no traveling people whatsoever. And any of the apostles who want to say so, that we should, I don't care. I'm only going to teach from this that I know, and I'm not going to take any new inputs. And I'm not saying that's a good choice, but it's a choice, and he made it. So, if you're wondering why division, because people. There have been divisions in churches, and there's going to be gossip and snarky people and judgmental people in churches, because there's those kind of people in the world, and a percentage of them is going to attend anything that is going on in the world. I don't know why that music stopped. No reason why that should have occurred. But let's just remember that as we go out into the world. Anything that we do in this world, there's going to be a percentage of snarky, negative people who don't want no new inputs and don't care about how that or they affect anybody else in the world around them. They are not who we're supposed to emulate. We're supposed to get away from them as fast as possible and refocus ourselves on what we know we're supposed to be doing, so we can stay in that vibration of love and positivity and giving to the world in the hospitality that has actually always existed within Christianity, because it has always existed in Jesus. Until tomorrow, friends.